Hello and welcome to my channel. So in today's video we are going to discuss some MCQs from the chapter Reaching the Age of Adolescence, chapter 10 from class 8 NCERT CBSE biology. We have already discussed this chapter in my last video. So today we are going to discuss some important questions from them, which will help us to get a better understanding about the whole chapter, which will help to recapitulate us about what we have done in my last video or what we have studied in the last video. So let's get started and see how much we can remember, and if not, go back to my last video and see what I have taught or what I have asked or what I have discussed in this chapter, so that you can come back and do the MCQs on your own. So let's get started. So the first question, that is the MCQ from Reaching the Age of Adolescence. The period of life during which body undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity is known as the growth, adulthood, adolescence, or none of the above. So this question is based on the name of the chapter, that is which or what is the name of that particular growth phase in life in which we undergo changes leading to a reproductive maturity, and this is known as, the C is the correct option, that is adolescence is the correct option. Option C is the correct. So the age for adolescence starts from 9 to 10 years, 11 to 12 years, 14 to 15 years, or none of these. So the correct option is option number B, that it starts from the age of 11 to 12 years. This is just a tentative age. The age may vary from person to person, from boy to girl. It is not fixed, but mostly it is seen that the age or this period of adolescence starts from the age of 11 to 12 years. That is option B is the correct one. Moving on to the next question. Adolescence lasts till the age of, now adolescence is a phase of life. It does not last through the entire life of a human being. So it has a phase. It starts and it ends up. So what is the age that an adolescence ends, or what is the last till 18 to 19 years, 19 to 20 years, 17 to 18 years, or 20 to 21 years? So the correct option or the correct answer is 18 to 19 years, because adolescence continues till 18 to 19 years. For some it ends up at 17 also, for some it continues till 19 also, depending on when it has started and what or how the body type is. So I'm telling that it varies from person to person. There is no such fixed age that it starts and here it ends. So it may start from 11 and continue till 19, from anywhere to anywhere. So the correct option is option A, though it varies from person to person, what I just told you just now. The next question. So the human body undergoes several changes during adolescence. These changes mark the onset of puberty, development of the secondary sexual characters, reproductive maturity, or all of these. So for this question it is option D, all of these, because during the adolescence it marks the onset of puberty, it enters the body enters the secondary sexual characters and also a reproductive maturity, that is the ovary starts producing the ova and also the female sex hormone, along with the testis starts producing the sperms and the male sex hormone, that is testosterone. So all these changes takes place other than the physical changes, which also starts taking place due to this onset of puberty. So it is option D is the correct answer. Next question. Adolescence marks the onset of puberty in boys and girls, which makes them capable of growth, reproduction, motor and skill development, none of these. So due to this onset of puberty, what is it that becomes functional? Is it the growth factor that becomes functional? Is it the reproduction factor that becomes functional? Or it is the motor and skill development of a particular human being that starts to change or that gets developed, or it is none of these? So the correct option is option B. It brings about the reproductive maturity, which is happening in the adolescent phase or during the onset of puberty. So option B or option B is the correct answer. The next question. What is the most remarkable or noticeable change during the onset of puberty? So what exactly is the noticeable change? That is increase in weight, increase in height, becoming more beautiful or handsome, or none of these. So increase in height is the correct option. That is increase in height, option B. See, weight throughout your life, we may increase or we may gain weight or we may lose weight, and even becoming more beautiful or handsome. So this doesn't happen during the adolescence phase. It is the increase in height that takes place. It is during this period of life that a person attains the maximum height. After this, there is no increase in height of the person anymore. So the person does not increase in height anymore. He may increase in weight, but not in height anymore. Only till the adolescence phase, that is till 18 or 19 years, he may grow tall. That's it. So option B is the correct answer. The next question, during adolescence, in boys there is a broadening of shoulders and growth of the muscles more prominently. In girls, the hip region becomes wider, growth of the pubic hair and hair on the armpit takes place, or all of these. So they have asked in this question that during adolescence, which of the changes takes place? The first change that is mentioned, that is in the boy, there is broadening of shoulders and growth of the muscles. So it is that, does it take place during adolescence? Yes, it is a change that happens in the boys during the adolescence phase. In girls, the hip region becomes wider. In girls, the hip region or the hip portion below the waist, it starts getting widened up. Growth of the pubic hair and hair on the armpits takes place, and this takes place for both boys as well as the girls. That is, the growth of the pubic hair and growth of the hair in the armpits takes place. So all of these are changes which develop or which are seen during the phase of adolescence. So option D is the correct answer. Next, at about what age does boys and girls reach their maximum height? So this question I was just telling that it is during that adolescence phase that a boy or a girl reaches the maximum height. After that, there is no more increase in height. So is it 15 years, 18 years, 22 years or 20 years? So the correct option is option B, 18 years, because it is till this phase that adolescence period lasts. Next question, at puberty, which part or parts of the body grows of a boy? It is the height, the larynx, the testis, or all of these. So at puberty, because I told you that during the adolescence or during the onset of puberty, there are lots of changes taking place both in the boys as well as in the girls. So what are the growth that happens in a boy? That is increase in height. Yes, the boy increases in height. The growth of the larynx. Yes, the growth of the larynx also takes place. And the growth of the testis. Yes, the testis now grows and comes out, or it hangs out of the body, and the scrotum comes and hangs out of the body containing the testis, and this testis starts producing the sperms and the male sex hormone, the testosterone. So it is all of these, option D. The next question, which gland is located just above the kidney? So it is the adrenal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, or the pancreas. So which gland is located just above the kidney? So it is option A, the adrenal, which is located just above the kidney. Just let's adrenal, that is option A. See, this is the photo, or this is the position of the glands that is there in our body. The pituitary gland is that in the brain, followed by the thyroid gland, which is present on the neck, and followed by adrenal gland. You can see it is just placed on the top of the kidney like a crown, followed in between the kidney, that is the pancreas, and it is the ovary if it is for a female, and a testis if it is a male. So these are the positions of the main endocrine glands in our body. So it is option A is the correct answer. The next question, Larynx, which begins to grow for boys at puberty, is also known as. See, just we have studied that during puberty or during onset of puberty, the growth for the boys takes place in the testis, larynx, as well as in the height. So larynx, the growth of the larynx is also known as the voice box, the Adam's apple, or all of these. So what is the larynx or growth of the larynx takes place is known as, it is the voice box or the Adam's apple. So both of it is the same thing. The growth of the larynx or the larynx is also known as the voice box or the Adam's apple. So option C is the correct answer. Next question, during puberty, girls develop dash voice and boys develop dash voice. So during puberty, what is the type of a voice that girls develop and what is it that boys develop? Is it high pitched and a deep voice, low pitched and a deep voice? Deep voice is for the boys and low pitched or high pitched for girls, or deep for the girls with a shrill for the boys and flat for the girls with a deep for the boys. So the correct option is high pitched deep voice. So it is a high pitched voice for that of the girls, whereas a deep voice for that of the boys. Option A is the correct answer. The next question, identify the incorrect statement from the following. During puberty, what happens? The secretion of the sweat glands and sebaceous glands decreases. Many young people get acne and pimples on the face at puberty. The male sex organ, that is testis and penis, get developed completely and start producing sperms. In girls, the ovaries enlarge and eggs begins to mature and they are released every month. So the second, third, fourth, that is B, C, D options are correct. That happens during puberty. So many young people, they get acne and pimples. The male sex organs, that is testis, develop, from which the sperms produced, and also the male sex hormone. And in girls, the ovaries enlarge and eggs begins to mature and they are released every month. So that also happens during the adolescence. It starts during the puberty or during the onset of puberty. So the first option, that is option A, the secretion of sweat glands and sebaceous gland, it increases. It does not decrease, but it increases. So the first option is incorrect. So it is answer A. The next question, what is incorrect about the phase of the life adolescence? Mental, physical, intellectual development takes place at this phase of life. Boys and girls at this phase of life tends to become more independent and matured. Physical strength decreases during adolescence and there is a feeling of insecurity due to the changes of body and mind. So out of all of them, option number C, that is option C, is incorrect. That is, the physical strength increases during adolescence. For both boys as well as girls, it increases during the phase of adolescence. So option C is the correct answer, which is the incorrect statement about adolescence. The changes which takes place during puberty are controlled by glands, hormones, limbs, or brain. So the changes that takes place during the onset of puberty or during puberty is controlled by the secretion of the hormones. So hormones, or option B, is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question, the ductless glands which releases hormones directly into the bloodstream are known as. So the ductless gland which directly releases the hormones into the bloodstream are known as the endocrine glands, the exocrine glands, both A and B, and none of these. It is the endocrine glands which releases they are ductless gland. They don't have any duct in order to move or whatever secretions they are having in order to pass them. So what happens, they directly pass on their secretions into the bloodstream. So option A is the correct answer. The male sex hormone that is released by the testis at the onset of puberty. While telling the answers, I've told you multiple number of times that the male sex hormone that is released during the onset of puberty is known as the testosterone, or option number C. The female sex hormone that is released from the ovary during adolescence is called the estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, or none of these. So the correct answer is estrogen, or it is also known as estrogen. So option A is the correct answer, because progesterone, testosterone are not the ones produced by the ovary. The next question, the secretion of the sex hormones during the onset of puberty is controlled by. Now, this secretion of the sex hormones, I was telling that the secretion of the sex hormones takes place during the phase of adolescence or during puberty, but who controls this secretion? Somebody is controlling the secretion of all these hormones. So who is that? On the onset is controlled by pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, or none of these. So it is controlled by A, the pituitary gland, or option A is the correct answer. Which gland is called the master gland and controls secretion of all the other gland? So which gland is the master gland and it controls secretion of all the other glands? The previous question also answers that, because here I have told it is that the onset of puberty, that particular hormone or the gland which controls the secretion of the sex hormones. So it is pituitary gland. Even so, that pituitary gland is also known as the master gland, which controls all the other glands. So option A, the pituitary gland, is the correct answer. Identify the incorrect statement. The secretion of the sex hormone are controlled by the secretions of the pituitary gland. No, it is correct. Just now I told you the capacity of production and maturation of gamete lasts for a longer time in males than in females. Yes, it is correct. The capacity of producing sperms is much more, or it remains for a much longer time in male than that in female, because in females there is a phase of life which is menopause, into which the eggs stop getting matured. There are no more eggs left in the ovary to mature and to be released. So there are no eggs. So there is no process, or there is no way of capacity of production or maturation of the eggs. So it is also correct. The secretion from the pituitary gland helps the ova and the sperm to mature. This is incorrect, because it is not from the pituitary, the secretion of the pituitary gland that helps them, or the ova, or the egg to mature. No, it is they get matured with the help of the sex hormones. At puberty, when the testes and ovaries produce gamete, it indicates that they are capable of reproduction. This is also correct, that at puberty, when these hormones are released, the testes and the ovaries produce gametes, and it indicates that they are now ready, or they are capable of reproduction. So only the incorrect statement is option number C. Next question. The hormones which controls the menstrual cycle also influences the release of the matured egg from the ovary, thickening of the uterine wall to receive the fertilized egg, breakdown of the uterine wall and the blood capillaries if no fertilization takes place, or all of the above. So the hormone which controls the menstrual cycle also influences. Here option D, that is all of the above, is correct, because all of the above, whatever sentences or the facts we have stated, that is also due to the influence of the hormone, that is the sex hormones. So option D is the correct answer. The next question. The first menstrual flow, which begins during the adolescence period, is termed as the first menstrual flow in female. It begins during adolescence, is termed as menstruation. No, the process is called menstruation. Menopause. No, that is another term will come on to menarche and none of the above. So it is menarche, that is the starting of the menstrual cycle. Option C is the correct answer. At the age of 45 to 50, the menstrual cycle stops. It is known as, so this is known as menopause. Pause means it is at a halt. So it is stopped. So it is called menopause. From menstruation, this menopause has come. So it happens mostly at the age of 45 to 50. Again, this age may vary from women to women. So menstruation is at the age of 45 to 50 when it stops, it is known as menopause. Option B is the correct answer. The next question, the determination of sex is controlled by the thin thread-like structures present in the fertilized egg. These structures are known as gametes, no. Nucleus, no. Chromosomes, yes. They are known as the chromosome. They are the thin thread-like structures which are present in the fertilized egg, and they determine the sex of the human being. How many pairs of autosomes and sex chromosomes does humans have? 22 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome, 23 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome, 22 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes, and 23 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. So we know that we human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes. This is very important. We human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Out of this 22 autosomes, we have 22 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome. We have 22 pair of autosomes. Here pairs are mentioned, so 22 autosome and 1 sex chromosome is the correct answer. Answer A or option A. The sex chromosome in humans are named as A and B, X and Y, I and J, none of these. It is named as X and Y because females have X and X chromosome, whereas males have X and Y chromosome. So option B is the correct answer. Pituitary and the endocrine gland is attached to the pituitary gland is an endocrine gland which is attached to the kidney, throat, brain or liver. The correct option is it is attached to the brain. If you remember the photo I showed you, the photo of all the major endocrine glands in our body, so that image shows that pituitary gland is connected or it is attached to the brain. That is option C. The next question. When pancreas does not produce insulin in sufficient quantities, it leads to hypertension, thyroid, heart attack or diabetes. So pancreas is again a organ which secretes juices which helps in the digestion of food. So it secretes another type or another hormone known as the insulin, which is directly goes into the blood and it helps to maintain the blood sugar level. It regulates the blood sugar level. So if insulin is not produced in the proper amount, what happens? We have the disease called diabetes, or option D is the correct answer. Identify the correct statement. Adrenaline maintains the salt-water balance in the body. The gland adrenal secretes the hormone adrenaline. This is also known as the stress hormone. All of these. So what is true or what is correct about this? So all of the statements are correct about the gland adrenal and the hormone adrenaline. That is, it maintains the salt water concentration of the body. It is also known as a stress hormone and it also secretes the hormone which is known as adrenaline. So option D is the correct answer. A balanced diet refers to a meal that contains dash in the required proportions, that is fats, carbohydrates, fats and proteins, vitamins and minerals, or all of the above. So a balanced diet contains all of the above or all of them in required proportion or required quantity which is used or required by the body. So the correct option, that is carbohydrate is also required, fats and proteins is also required, vitamins and minerals are also required. So it is all of the above is the correct answer, that is option D. Which of the facts are true about drugs? They are addictive and becomes difficult to refuse them. They are injurious to health and well-being of a person. They affect the proper day-to-day life of a person. So all of them are correct about drugs. So it is always a big no to drugs. Always say no to drugs because this thing doesn't do any good to our life. It only brings unhappiness and disturbs our life. This can even cause death. So it is always best to say a big no to drugs. So option D is the correct answer. The next question, which statement is false about AIDS? It is caused by a deadly virus, HIV. The virus can pass from an infected to a healthy person by sharing of the syringes used for injecting drugs. The virus is not transmitted from an infected mother to her baby through breastfeeding. The virus is transmitted through sexual intercourse with the infected person. So what is false or what is incorrect is the option C. The virus is not transmitted from an infected mother to her baby through breastfeeding. It is transmitted from the infected mother to the baby through the process of breastfeeding. It is incorrect about this disease AIDS, and it is a very deadly disease. We still don't have any cure for this disease, so it is always very much required, or it is always told that we must be very careful when we are using syringes. We must not use any used syringes, any used blades, any used razor, or any kind of things which may have come in contact with blood, because we don't know the person may be infected or not. It is always required to use a new sterile blade, razor, or a syringe as in fact. So this is a very deadly disease, and we must all take care so that a person does not get infected through all these very feral means for this disease. So this brings us to the end of the MCQs on reaching the age of adolescence, chapter number 10 from class 8 NCERT CBSE biology. So if you have liked my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you have any more questions based on this chapter, so please put in the comments box. I'll surely come back to you. Till then, take care, stay safe, and I'll come back with another new chapter. Till then, signing off, stay safe. Thank you.